On October 18, 1926, Charles Edward Anderson Berry was born into a segregated St. Louis, Missouri, in a neighborhood called the Ville. The youngest of 6 children, Chuck was raised in a middle-class African-American family. His father was a carpenter and a deacon, his mother a school principal. The household was steeped in faith, discipline, and music. Gospel songs echoed through the walls from the Antioch Baptist Church choir, where Berry first tasted the emotional pull of performance. From an early age, music pulled at Berry like a persistent current. He soaked up blues from the streets, the swing and jazz drifting from clubs, and the twang of country music filtering through the radio. But school brought its complications. In 1944, at just 17, he found himself incarcerated for armed robbery after an impulsive joyride to California turned criminal. The harsh sentence and rigid confines of the reformatory didn't smother his love of music. He joined a quartet behind bars, developing his voice and harmony instincts. Released in 1947 on his 21st birthday, Berry wasted no time rebuilding his life. He married Themetta "Toddy" Suggs the following year and began working a string of jobs: janitor, factory hand, and beautician. Yet music always simmered on the back burner. He played in local bars and absorbed the showmanship of T-Bone Walker. A friendship with pianist Johnny Johnson soon led to a pivotal musical collaboration. Berry's blend of R&B grit and country rhythm, a style he jokingly called black hillbilly music, bewildered and then captivated St. Louis audiences. His innovative guitar style and knack for storytelling began to emerge. In 1955, fate intervened. Berry met blues legend Muddy Waters in Chicago, who sent him to Chess Records. Leonard Chess was immediately intrigued by Berry's fast-paced, twanging adaptation of Ida Red and recorded it as Maybelline. Released that year, it exploded onto the charts, selling over 1 million copies. Maybelline was not just a hit, it was a revelation. With its driving beat, vivid lyrics, and daring fusion of musical styles, it marked the birth of rock and roll as a cultural force. Berry was no overnight sensation. He had ripped the rulebook apart and rewrote it in 3 chords and a backbeat. More followed: Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, and Johnny B. Goode, with lyrics bursting with energy and imagery that captured teen rebellion, fast cars, and high school dreams. He became a fixture on television, a star of Alan Freed's legendary package tours, and a film presence in early rock musicals. All the while, Berry honed a stage persona as unforgettable as his lyrics. The famous duck walk, an impromptu childhood movement to retrieve a ball under a table, became his visual signature. Yet Berry's rise wasn't without turbulence. In 1959, he was arrested under the Mann Act for transporting a 14-year-old girl across state lines. After a trial tainted by racial overtones, he was convicted and sentenced to prison. Despite appeals, he served 20 months. The ordeal hardened him, casting a shadow over his return to the stage. But even incarceration couldn't stifle his output. Upon release, Berry delivered songs like Nadine, You Never Can Tell, and No Particular Place to Go, songs steeped in wit and observational flair. The British invasion had kept his music alive. The Beatles and Rolling Stones reverently covered his catalog. A new generation of fans emerged. Berry's 1972 novelty hit, My Ding-a-Ling, became his only chart-topping single, oddly cementing his chart legacy even as purists winced. Despite erratic live performances, his legend grew. He demanded payment in cash, brought only his guitar to shows, and relied on local pickup bands, sometimes with disastrous results. Yet he remained magnetic. Legal troubles followed him through the years, from tax evasion to allegations of voyeurism at his restaurant. A lawsuit from Johnny Johnson claiming co-authorship of dozens of Berry's songs was dismissed due to the passage of time. Through it all, Berry played on, often gruff and aloof, yet incapable of being ignored. In 1986, Berry became the first inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rolling Stone ranked him among the greatest guitarists and artists of all time. Keith Richards, who helped organize Barry's 60th birthday. Concert, captured in Hail, Hail. Rock and Roll once joked, "I lifted every lick he ever played." Despite his crusty demeanor, Barry remained a fixture at Blueberry Hill in St. Louis, playing monthly sets until 2014. On his 90th birthday, he stunned the world by announcing a new album, Chuck, featuring his children Charles Jr. and Ingrid. The album was dedicated to Toddy, his wife of nearly 7 decades. On March 18, 2017, Barry was found unresponsive at his Missouri home. Emergency services could not revive him. His passing at age 90 sparked tributes from legends, fans, and heads of state. Gene Simmons gave an impromptu eulogy at his funeral. A cherry-red Gibson ES 355 was bolted to the lid of his coffin. The Rolling Stones sent flowers shaped like a guitar. Barry was laid to rest in Bellerive Garden Cemetery. His funeral, held at the Pageant in St. Louis, was open to the public. Hundreds filed past to pay respects to the man who once said, "I made records for people who would buy them. No color, no ethnic, no political." His final album, released posthumously, was a farewell letter etched in riffs and rhyme, and his musical legacy shot far beyond the charts. "Johnny B. Good" became the only rock song on the Voyager Golden Record, currently hurtling through space. Barry's story is no fairy tale. He was complex, at times contradictory, and always unapologetically himself. Yet no account of 20th century music is complete without him. He didn't wait for the world to catch up. He plugged in, turned up the volume, and dared it to keep pace.